Oh my gosh. Well, I use it every day. I'm in it, I'm programming it. The good thing about Quickbase is it solves a lot of problems. It's very, very flexible. It's very, very adaptable. You literally have a live application, and if a process changes, if a law changes, if your idea changes, it can be changed. In a live application, on the fly, especially if you know what you're doing, it's one of those things where if you have a business or even just a team in that business that needs to be very flexible, needs to change a lot, Quickbase is really great. I've also used it for prototyping for more legacy databases, which is always good because then you can work it out, work out the processes, work out the fields you need, work out the architecture and things like that. Of course, I also have done that, and they've just ended up using Quickbase as their legacy database. So there is that too. Definitely flexibility is one of the best things about it. I was just talking to some people where if you come in there and you don't know anything, you can make something happen. Like if you are, like I always say, can my mother use it? Can she walk into this? Can she make something happen? And the answer for Quickbase is yes, she can make something happen. She can make some process happen. However, most of the time, it doesn't limit someone from learning more and solving more complex problems. And that's what I like about it, coming in as a person who will learn different programming languages, who will do different things. Like, your limitations are really on what you put on yourself in learning. They're always improving, which is good. I feel like they have gotten away sometimes from listening to their more complex users. So that can be challenging sometimes. They've gotten into doing some things that are fancier, which sometimes slow down the system. But again, they're pretty good at listening to some extent, and they try to improve. They're very enthusiastic. It's not always in the right direction, in my opinion, but they usually course correct, and all in all, I would say it's probably the best, most stable, most secure and flexible product out there. There are other ones that are more robust, and you can take all kinds of ones. If you take something like AWS, the learning curve on that is huge for what you can do in Quickbase. Much quicker, much simpler, with a lower learning curve. But you're not going to get, say, the same power or the same streamlinedness. So there's always give and takes with these things, but there is a place for Quickbase, and it's very robust for what it is. It does not dumb it down, but there are things, if you're looking for a powerhouse of data processing, I would say that's probably not the system you want to go with. If you're looking for really good reporting, if you're looking for usability, then I would say Quickbase is the one that you want to go with. I would say it's definitely positive. It is expensive. Like, if you look at that first price tag, you are going to go like, oh my, that's fun. Especially because it's per user, per seat, and you do have to consider, how you're going to be using it. If you want rando people to sign up for something, this may not be the product for you. Go with Jotform or something. But if you're looking for something that's secure for your employees, and you have enough employees to use it, you have to be able to know why you're using it. It does save a ton of time. It handles a lot of things automatically that a lot of people just do on their spreadsheets. just over and over and over again. And spreadsheets can be damaged, contaminated, formulas can be wrong. It just kind of has a natural way of rooting out those problems, which of course saves tons of time, tons of money with dealing with that kind of stuff. It has, with pipelines, the ability to bring stuff in and all together, and you can, with the database, you can have different apps. So getting the license, depending on what you're using for, I would say the ROIs can be good to very high. Oh yes, I deal with what I'm hired for is some of the most complex projects and complex situations that are out there. FMLA, government stuff, recipes, manufacturing, telecom, banking, international acquisitions of properties, international law, things that change a lot, things that need to be secure and private. And these are large companies that use this. I usually work for larger companies. But I've worked for small ones too, and it's, you can put in a lot of factors to things and make them happen like seamlessly. It makes things effortless. Things like on-the-job injuries and the FMLA Leave Act and manufacturing personal private recipes for vitamins and HR things. Those are the kind of things that I specialize in, and those things I work in, and I work in Quickbase for those things. I update them all the time. Like I said, I work in industries and sectors that often change. And they're out of the control of the company that I work for. It's a government rule. I've worked in disaster recovery. The world changes. Social life changes. There's those kind of things just happen all the time. As far as live apps, I change those often. Changing processes can be a delicate process depending on how you do it. I personally do not use the sandbox feature. I actually dev live. I dev in production. Yeah, I know, living on the edge. But that's just my personal preference. It's often because of the immediacy of what I do, and because I'm very specialized in what I do, and I have lots of experience in it. So. But it can be done, and most of the time the people here are they're developing in applications that are being used. They're changing applications and improving applications that are currently in use. So it definitely can be done. You don't need to stop work. You don't need to do those kind of things. You take time to plan, and then you work in it and you deploy, but it's not the same length of time as changing something in a legacy database. And you can roll it back, and that is a great feature. They're always constantly backing stuff up, which, trust me, when I was in my learning phase.
Especially living dangerously in production.
Yes. I mean, you learn to back your stuff up, but it's always good to have that additional backup that they've backed it. Quickbase has backed it up for you as well. I build lots of different kinds of databases, SQL, Access. I've worked a little bit in AWS and things like that. So I would say a lot of these things, like I was at a very large company and I built these Access databases, and they loved them, and they were like, oh, this is so wonderful. Now put it on the cloud so that we can all use it. And I'm like, please don't let the name fool you. Access is not accessible. And so they said, that's awesome, but we need this on the cloud, and we need it in 7 days. And so I ended up calling some of my other programmer friends and saying, I have this problem, what can I do? And one of my friends said, hey, have you looked into Quickbase? And I'm like, yeah, a couple of years ago. Mind you, this was very many years ago. I was like, yeah, a couple of years ago. It was, And they're like, well, look at it again, see what you think. And I looked at it, I got the free trial. I was able to rebuild my Access database and learn this new system in 7 days. I hit that deadline, it was on the cloud, it was there. And again, very complex and wonderful Access database, but now it's on the cloud and could be adaptable. And I kind of fell in love with Quickbase at that point because I was in an industry that often changed their processes, and it was hard to keep that Access database up. And then I had this wonderful adaptable in the cloud database, and that made all the difference in life. And since then, I've gotten kind of hooked. I would say yes, but it does depend on your situation and how many users you have and how much you are going to be using it. Yes, but I'm definitely excited about their improvements. Yes, I would say yes, very much. Yeah.